I'll be starting our session today using my singing bowl. And 3 chimes from the singing bowl, and then we'll begin to really settle down and get focused on how we're really doing today. So as we begin our session today, I like to first just bring gratitude, a sense of appreciation for whatever in your life allowed you to participate in today's meditation, to make room for that in your schedule. And just breathing in some gratitude to that aspect of your life. And now just centering ourselves, placing a palm on our heart and a palm on our belly. Taking some nice, slow, long breaths in through the nose. And really filling and expanding the belly. And by doing this, we're actually activating our relaxation response. The body is equipped to manage stress with this relaxation response. So filling and widening. And just easy letting go of the breath. And go ahead on this next breath. Hold it at the top of the breath where it's the fullest. Just for a few seconds before you release the breath. And one more. So finding a nice place to rest your hands. I want you to just, gaze about the room and begin to notice things you may not have noticed before, but this gazing also gives input to the nervous system that we're okay. And now as the gaze gets softer, find a nice resting spot for your eyes. It can be down in front of you, it could be at your palms. Some people like to close their eyes. And I just want you to notice the temperature of the room around you. And notice any noises that you hear in the world around you. Keeping in mind that it's okay for these noises to be there, because the message of meditation is that even in distress, even in chaos, there is this centered self that we possess that we can tap into. And the beauty of meditation is the more that you tap into it, the easier it is to access. So we're keeping that in mind. Notice any smells that you might have around the room. I have this lovely candle. Any scents that are coming up for you? And the body's still softening and relaxing and settling. We bring this sensory approach to mindful meditation because it allows us to be in the moment. And for most of us, the moment is okay, and we're doing okay in the moment. And I know it's hard to stay there when there's so much going on around us, but that is where peace is. Now, tuning in even more so to the body, notice where you're feeling some discomfort or stiffness. And with mindfulness, we are simply becoming attuned to the self, aware. And it's so helpful to acknowledge pain and discomfort because it wants to be acknowledged. It's very loud and whiny. So acknowledge it. And now we want to acknowledge those quieter, peaceful places within our body. Places of ease, of fluidity, of flow. And when we tune into the body, sometimes thoughts come into our mind, worries, concerns. And mindfulness teaches us that, like the sky, we can let thoughts which are like the clouds. Our mind is like the sky, and we can let these clouds just drift across the mind. And we don't necessarily need to attach to them. We can let them go and return to this sensory exploration of the body. And now see if you can find a part of the body that is hot or warm. And now noticing a part of the body that is cool or cold. And noticing the distance between these two things, these warm parts of the body and these cool parts of the body. Noticing the whole body softening. Noticing the whole body allowing you to have this experience. Now returning to that easy flow of the breath. the life force that moves within us and between us. A commonality with all life forms is this need for breath. Whenever life becomes difficult, we can always remind ourselves that we carry the breath and we can follow the breath. It is that one part of the body that is both voluntary and involuntary. And it regulates so much of our nervous system. I'm going to read to you today a loving meditation adapted by a Vietnamese Buddhist master, Thich Nhat Hanh, for those of you who may not be familiar with him. This teaching is adapted from a 5th century Buddhist training. And Buddhism isn't necessarily a religion, it's a philosophy of living and being. And Thich Nhat Hanh broadens this intention of love to include the capacity to reduce pain and suffering and to offer peace and happiness. This particular teaching believes that we need to start with the self before we can bring this peace and happiness to others. So repeat these statements to yourself as I read them. May I be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May I be safe and free from illness and injury. May I be free from anger, fear, and anxiety. May I learn to look at myself and others with the eyes of understanding and love. May I be able to recognize and nourish the seeds of joy and happiness in myself. May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. May I be able to live solid, fresh, and free. And now taking a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Thank you for joining me. Please make a note in the chat section. I'll be able to see that. And I look forward to introducing you to Victoria at our next meeting next Tuesday. Sorry, I was so relaxed there. I forgot about our meeting time, but it's on Tuesdays at 12 noon. I want to thank you all for joining me and spread the word. The idea around community meditation is that we're lifting each other up, and the more people that are participating, the more uplifting we will be. So thanks again, and I look forward to your feedback. Take care.